Hey guys, welcome to JasonWhiskyWise, with myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 60, where today we're going to review another unique bottling, which is from Bartels Whisky, and it is on the Arran 20-year-old. Now, I think this is the second oldest Arran there is in the market available till today, or maybe it is the first oldest independently bottled. I can't remember which one it is. Let me know what you guys think, but I do know Arran released a 21-year-old for the anniversary edition, and this one is 20. It's literally right behind them. So, in terms of the whiskey review, I'll begin. You can see I've poured myself a dram, just let it breathe, as I feel this one does need it. And I'll go and explain to you about the whiskey. So this one is a Highland Laird Arran 1996, aged for 20 years, bottled I believe in 2016, and is the cask number is 1337, if memory serves me well. Let me just check. 1337. Right on that one. So anyway, I'm going to appear a bottle of it here if I can, and some little screenshots on either side so you exactly know where I'm talking about and what this bottle is. Now, it is an independently bottled. This company, Bartels, they do produce a lot of fantastic bottles. One of my favorite independent bottlers that are out there in the market. And a very rich cask you get from them. Very unique. And I just reviewed, I believe, a Malta, Scotland, and I've got a couple more to go. Now, in terms of my review style structure, we'll begin with the age, which is a 20-year-old whiskey for this one. The ABV is bottled at 51.3%, so a cask strength whiskey for you. The cask they use in this one is a sherry butt. So that's what I was told, because it doesn't stay. Oh, it says it here. Being a Jason. Anyway, so it's a sherry cask. The distillery is from the Arran distillery, which you can see over here. And it is located in the islands of Scotland, which you'll probably just see over there as well. Now, in terms of the bottler itself, as it's an independent bottler, it is from Bartels Whisky, and they are pretty much bottling it under their name of Highland Laird, which is fantastic. I've tried quite a few of these whiskies at the minute. Now, in terms of the price point, it does vary. A master and malt, I believe it was $130 when I saw this one, or $120, and it goes all the way up to, in London, I saw it at $140 in Milroy's. So it depends on where you're looking. It does have that sort of price range, and it's one of the oldest Arrans that are available in the market. So a very interesting one as well. In terms of exclusivity, yes, it is exclusive to 520 bottles only. After that, you will not be able to find it until they produce another sort of independent bottled or some sort of unique style. And in terms of caramel colouring, there is no caramel colour added to this whiskey. No caramel in there whatsoever. You can see it's a nice dark colour on that one. So let's begin by my assessment of the whiskey. We'll first look at the colour, and I'll hold it up for you at the screen. Let me know what colour you guys think on this one. But it's got a nice sort of dark, deep amber, and look at the legs on this whiskey. It's gorgeous, sticking to the sides. I'm going to go with a deep amber, so let's begin the assessment on the nose. So to begin my first impressions on the nose of this whiskey, it does start off with a lot of exotic fruits to be bringing you in with a nice sweetness added to it. Sort of reminds me of candied pineapple pieces. A little bit of a sugar coating on the outside, and then you get sweet tobacco leaves with a richness coming through. A little bit of red plums, and a little bit of what reminds me of even cacao, or cocoa powder, but it's very rich, very fresh, and then a little bit of grapefruit zest, as if you're taking a grapefruit, you're just literally squeezing it just a little bit, and the burst and the spray of that grapefruit sort of is just going into the atmosphere, and the aroma sort of lingering around you. And then right behind that, I'm getting a sort of sweet, a little bit of a coconut. But it reminds me of cherries, but I was thinking more Coca-Cola, the sweetie cherries, the cola cherry sweets. But for some reason, I'm going to say not so much that, because it's not so sweet, but I'm going to go with those dark cherries, those maraschino cherries, as if you're taking sort of just the aroma of those in a little basket and getting the sweetness. And then right behind that, a nice sort of combination of freshly prepared fruitcake mix. Really nice, with a little bit of icing powder over the top of that, just giving that added sweetness. Gorgeous nose on this one. So next we'll move into the palate. This is one of my favourite Arrans, by the way, so yeah, we'll move into the palate next. Ooh. So to begin things on the palate, you do get a little bit of ABV, but it's ever so subtle. A lot of tannins on the sort of palate first tasting, and a lot of those dark black fruits coming through. Doing black currants, a little bit of also some other berries in there, a mixture of them. Wow, so juicy. I'm getting sort of dark plums with the skins, giving me that little bit of a little bitter note as well. A bit of dark chocolate. A very heavy fruitcake mix now working its way in. Not really that much sweetness. A little bit of a, sort of again, there's tobacco leaves. Really nice character on this one. I'm going to have a second sip. I'm really enjoying this one. So second sip. So from the second tasting, those fruitier notes start off quite well. And then they just sort of fade away. And then you make a little bit of a, sort of get a little dryness to it. Which sort of more sort of reminds me of like a black tea. Like a Darjeeling tea. Not even Darjeeling. Maybe a bit of Darjeeling. It's quite a nice character over there. The aroma settles around. A little bit of dried fruit sort of lingering around the palate as well. Ooh. It's got such a unique character on this one as it sort of settles there. But really nice, and then it sort of fades off ever so slightly into more of those darker, fruitier tannins, oaky presence on the palate. So we're going to move into the finish, and then we'll come to my conclusion. But I'm just really trying to pick out those notes. Really enjoyable on this palate. So anyway, last bit, and we'll get into the finish. So into the finish for this whiskey, it does have, I've left it there on the palate for a little period of time. And as you're sort of waiting for those aromas to fade, it's got a very nice long finish on this one. You definitely get those richness from those berries, and it feels like they're sort of more or less coated in quite a lot of heavy dark chocolate. Again, a mixture of that fruitcake mix, and there's tannins and there's oaky characters work their way through the mid palate, and right at the back, a very softer, subtle candied sweetness, which reminds me a little bit of licorice. So, with a little bit of a bitter note as well. So it's quite interesting. The way the combination of flavors is very, very complex. Very unique. So I'm going to give my rating for this one. And this is one of my most favorite, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of my most favorite Arrans. It's just got so much depth, character, complexity. It's got so much going on. And I'm going to go pick myself up of one of these bottles. But anyway, that's a 92 out of 100. Reason behind that is, as I mentioned, I would pick up one of these bottles. I am actually going to pick up one, and you'll see it on my Twitter or my Instagram. Just so much of power, depth, fruity character. Just gives you so much. And it's got one of those notes that I'm actually struggling to pick out, which I didn't mention. But it's got one note in there which just keeps playing itself again and again. And it's got a mixture, a little bit of sweetness, that bitter note, fruitcake, all combined in, a little bit of tobacco leaf. It's a really, really good whiskey. At least you're thinking, and that's one thing that's very unique. And it's one of the oldest Arrans in the market. So in terms of that one, and price point of view being around about 100, the anniversary edition was up and above that. Around about, I think it was 120. So in that point of view, fantastic whiskey. It's limited, natural colour, not chill filtered. Brilliant job on that one. So on that note, I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you have tried this one, let me know down below in the comment section. And if I can get myself a bottle from Central London, I'm going to do little miniatures, and that way, if any of you guys want to try it, by all means, let me know. But also, check out their website, Bartels Whisky, as I think they sell it, and I think Master Malt also had it, so I'm going to check them after this video. But anyway, on that note, if you have enjoyed, by all means, feel free to drop in a like. Be sure to subscribe, and this has been JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next review.